servitude limits the sight of a man. Kings are guided by law, even though they are not bound by the law. There is difference between being guided by the law and being bound by the law. If you are guided by the law, you have liberty, but you don't misuse the liberty, because kings reign because there is a law. Kings like orderliness, kings like principle, kings like structure, kings like pristine, kings like perfection. So when they speak, even though they are at liberty to say whatever they should say, they know that there is a law guiding it. They are not bound by the law. They keep the law because they make laws, and they know that if there is no law, they cannot rule. This is the difference between a king and a servant. A servant is bound by the law. So when a servant is going to express liberty, he does not know the range to which he will abuse the liberty. So a servant is either too timid or too arrogant. A servant is always on extremes. When I'm talking about talking boldly, I'm not talking about somebody who goes around reducing people or insulting people or talking anyhow. A servant is either too timid of his surrounding. Oh, they know I'm not somebody. They will, or he's at the extreme. A king talks with authority, but not hurting people. But when a servant is talking and he knows that the law can do something to me here, because he's bound by the law, he will be timid. He will not express himself properly. When he's in an environment where he thinks the law does not cover this jurisdiction, because there is no principle, there is no structure, there is no order in his life, he will abuse it. All in his mind will be, this time I have an opportunity to express myself, let me express it to the uttermost. I don't know when next I'll get this opportunity. So servants don't know order. Servants don't know perfection. They say anything anyhow. They are not always accurate as per speaking. But when kings speak, even though there is authority there, they still have rules for diverse people. They still have order for diverse people. Kings know that there is hierarchy. Kings know that there is structure. When they are speaking, they dish out their words according to that order. When you look at the scripture, when King Herod made a promise on his birthday, and he said, I will give you anything, even to the half of my kingdom. What happened when the girl, the daughter of Herodias, demanded the head of John the Baptist? The scripture says, and it grieved the king, but for the sake of they that were with him. So a king is always accountable for whatever he says. And because you know you will be accountable, when you would say something, you will calculate before you make a statement. You will check the pros and the cons. You will check everything that will surround the statement. Before kings talk, they ask themselves, what's the advantage of this statement? What's the disadvantage of this statement? Do you see why the scripture says you are not to talk carelessly? The same scripture says you are a royal priesthood. So every true child of God is a king or a queen. Every true child of God is royalty. Every true child of God does not open the mouth and utter words anyhow, because you know that whatever I should say is a commandment. Kings don't just gist, they give commandments, they give laws. The Bible talks about exercising faith. It said the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. It said by this our elders obtained the good report. Those things speak what should be, not what they are seeing. If you say everything you are seeing, that means a servitude. Servitude limits the sight of a man to only what is in front of him. A servant cannot predict. A servant doesn't know what is next waiting for him. A servant knows, just like those who serve Pharaoh. You could be serving the king in the palace today. In the next 1 hour, you could be in prison waiting to be hanged. It's not so for a king. A king has everything that is established to see that he stays in safety. So before he will say something, he will calculate everything about that thing he will say.